Hi, this is Howard Rappaport again from IHS Pricing Purchasing Group, Senior Director for Chemicals. I want to continue our discussion on the impact of oil and gas on the petrochemical and plastic production flow. We're now going to take a look at the process flow from oil and gas hydrocarbon products through the chemical process chain into finished chemical and plastic products. I brought along a flow chart that explains how we get from crude oil and natural gas through the petrochemical complex into the intermediates and end plastic products that we use day in and day out. And as you can see, at the heart of that flow chart is something called a steam cracker, where ethylene is produced. Now, you can make ethylene with either a natural gas base, ethane from natural gas, or you can make ethylene in the cracker with naphtha from crude oil. So it's interesting, what you put into the ethylene unit dictates what comes out the back end. And of course, the feedstock choice, whether it's natural gas or crude oil, will yield different products at the back end of the process. So it's an important dynamic for regional producers as to whether they use naphtha from crude oil or ethane from natural gas. Here in North America, we have the benefit of an abundant supply of low-cost natural gas, and the majority of chemical and plastics production is based on ethane from our natural gas supplies, and that's expected to continue over the next several years as we develop our shale gas supplies throughout the region. Another thing to keep in mind is that refineries do play an important role in the production of chemicals and plastics. And so we're constantly looking at the refinery dynamics, where their target is to make fuel for the automotive industrial complex, heating oil, jet fuel, kerosene, etc. And the byproducts of refining are basically what we're using in the chemical complex to make base chemicals and plastics. So the feedstock selection, whether it's oil or gas, is usually based on availability and price, in addition to the yield that's coming out the end of the chemical process. So as a result of our low-cost natural gas resources here in the U.S. and the $3 to $4 per million BTU gas price, cash costs to make ethylene here in the U.S. are at record lows. In fact, lowest prices we've seen in almost 10 years. Also an important fact is that producers of ethylene are also making record margins and profits today. So business is very robust in that part of the industry. And they're reinvesting those dollars in new capacity that's expected to come online over the next 5 to 10 years and significantly increase the amount of chemical and plastic production here in North America. Now, there have been, in recent months, supply disruptions on the ethylene side of the equation, which has impacted ethylene, propylene, and benzene and other products. And this has kept the price situation in the U.S. rather high compared to the cash costs. We do expect this situation to ease. The facilities that have been down, whether planned or unplanned outages, are expected to come back online shortly. And we do expect, as we transition out of 2013 into 2014, that we will see prices come down from where they are today. And looking ahead over the next 6 to 12 months, we do expect supplies to improve significantly because there have been some tight spots in various chemical and plastic products in recent months, and those things will begin to work themselves out. One last thing to keep in mind if you're paying attention to the dynamics in the industry is the weather. We are unable to control the weather, but from June to November is hurricane season. And if we do have a significant number of storms coming up the U.S. Gulf Coast or the Gulf of Mexico, this certainly can have an impact on operations in the region. And if so, if we have significant downtime, whether it's gas-producing rigs or petrochemical and refining complex, this certainly can throw a monkey wrench into the price forecast and provide a platform for higher prices during that event. So please keep an eye on the weather, watch those oil and gas prices, and stay in touch with your representatives from IHS. We're happy to help you out with any insights and information we can provide on prices in the markets. Thanks very much.